I don't respect you, you don't respect me. And that's the reality. If you need to command respect instantly, you have to show it. So let's show it. Let's see how people need to command respect instantly. So the first one is your facial appearance. Now, your facial appearance is not necessarily as simplistic as smiling. Now, of course, smiling is really important, but if you smile just continuously and not in sync with the other person, well then it's not going to be very impressive. Rather than smiling or laughing too much, we really need to realize that there's other things we can do with our face. Now, truly and surely, if you smile initially, if it's a happy occasion when you're instantly or the first time meeting somebody, it's going to be appropriate for sure. If you mirror their smile and do what they do and smile when they smile, that again is bingo, right on the money. There's other things in a person's face though that tell a story about how they're presenting themselves, and one can be piercings. Piercings are really, really popular, but generally it's better to keep the piercings away if you're trying to present yourself in a business-like manner. And that's just, unfortunately, because there's a prejudice out there with regard to piercings and professionality. Having said that, there is also a way in your personal life that you can get away with it in a very positive manner, because if you're going to a place or a party where people like your piercings or you're considered cooler, well then of course piercings are going to be cool. But other than that, you've got tattoos. Tattoos are really well known, and for many, many years and decades, people have used tattoos in the contemporary society to represent certain things. They can represent personal things, they can represent other things, they can communicate things. Very popular is the neck tattoo. Believe it or not though, it's considered a negative when it comes to a lot of professional people looking and examining a person's persona. If they see it in an interview, it's not considered a good thing. And the reason is because there's studies to show over 75 years of studies showing that there's parts of people's personalities that could be distorted or affected. And this is why they're actually wearing tattoos or having tattoos. Having said that, it can be considered body art. Of course, it can be considered a positive thing. And in keeping it positive, in communicating instantly to people by showing your tattoo, this can be a good thing if you're in a certain context where it's welcome. Again, if you go to a party or if you're going to a place where tattoos can be considered really cool or something artistic, well then of course your personality isn't going to be judged. Now, I'm being very generalistic right here, right now, with regard to this, and not everybody is the same, but this is just a general perception of how people see and are expected more so to see people with tattoos and piercings in their facial region. And the reason being is because they're trying to look out for other people. If they're a manager or a boss, they're looking out for other people, and it's not just their own personal views, it's just a general consensus. Clothes is a hugely important thing as well. Clothes make it the man is often the old saying, and with regard to that, what you wear and how you wear it is so important. One study that was done with 300 men as case studies wearing very cool and top class suits showed the difference between wearing a very, very good suit and a bespoke suit. Some of the 300 were wearing these very good suits, some were wearing bespoke suits, and other men then sat and analysed them. Believe it or not, when the respondents to the study analysed the men in suits, they didn't actually predict that a man was more attractive because he was wearing one suit over the other. More so, what they predicted was that one man or a certain amount of men with the bespoke suits were more successful or perceived to be more successful and respectable than those with top class suits, but not exactly bespoke. So the little things really matter. In another study on females, there was 129 females, and there was really top class attire, suit, fashion that they were wearing. And the respondents were told that they actually were managers, senior managers, right down to secretaries. So they had variations in their job positions. And the perceptions by the females watching them, well, it was that the little things really matter, because some of the outfits were modified slightly and some of them weren't. And again, the perceptions didn't matter with regard to a person's job title, but it was more so on their clothes, and that little bit of a difference really meant a lot. It was far more impressive to females as well. So the evidence is clear. What you wear and how you wear it is really important. Another really important thing in trying to instantly command respect is your body language. Now, I can break down body language in many ways, but in truth, very simplistic ways are one, posture. Posture is so important. Now, it is true to say that by having a very upright posture, it's more important in general, and it exudes more confidence than a slumped type posture. However, it's not necessarily true to say that keeping that posture throughout your conversation or your time in being with somebody is actually going to be reflective or best reflective of what you want to communicate and the success that you want to communicate. More so, if you mirror their posture, then you're actually going to be more emotionally accepted by the other person. And I'm not talking about crying or laughing extremely. What I'm talking about is little things, little momentary changes in your posture, leaning over, leaning back. That kind of thing actually mimics the feelings of a person that's putting out what they're putting out in a conversational thing. And only 7%, believe it or not, of words are really important with regard to our body language. So if you're speaking with somebody one-to-one directly, what you're saying is really important, but more importantly, it's how you're saying it, and also your body language and how your posture is communicating something to them. Your visual and their visual field is really strong. They're looking at you, so they're watching your posture subconsciously at the very least. Another thing is crossing of the arms. Now, this is a classical thing, crossing of the arms. You see it a lot in a bad way in the dating world. I know of one particular couple where a man was continually crossing his arms, and had he uncrossed his arms, the female reported back to him afterwards, if his arms were uncrossed when she entered into the bar, well then he would have been with her. She would have given him a chance. But the fact that he was crossing his arms when she entered into the bar and saw him, and he failed, and this is really important, he failed to uncross his arms, meant bingo. Well, the opposite of bingo. She didn't warm up to him because she saw it as a defensive type communication strategy. So it didn't really work. Crossing your arms can be done in a positive way across cultures. Other cultures have different body languages, and it's really important to know, if you're entering into a new country or culture, exactly what that is and if it's welcome. But crossing the arms can be welcome momentarily. Again, if a person crosses their arms during conversation, reflecting perhaps what they're feeling or what they're trying to communicate, again, if you mirror that, it's a positive side to them as well. Making a first impression and instantly commanding respect can also be done by apologizing. Believe it or not, apologizing is... The great Alexander Pope once said that erring is human, but making up essentially is, well, it's beyond human. It's a very good moral standing. Character is seen as being through the roof in a very positive way. If you can apologize, you can actually turn a negative situation into a very positive one. By being upfront, approaching somebody instantly and apologizing, it actually is seen as being extremely beneficial and respected. You can go way down the hill in somebody's assumptions and respectability patterns. They can talk about you, but then if you apologize and if you really mean it, if you show you really mean it, then it can be not only respected, but people are going to talk about you again, and your name is out there in a very positive manner. Okay, it was negative in the first place, but now that they've heard the positive, depending on what you've done, it can be really, really good. It can fall into the category of there's no such thing as bad publicity. In fact, that it can be seen as extremely positive. So apologizing, leading that if you do something wrong, just apologize, get over it and move on. It's really important. Being able to command respect instantly can be done. Anybody can do it. You can do it too. Follow these things and you won't be far off it. Until next time, I just made sure that I went out and about and asked a few people all about commanding respect. And what was their feelings on it too. And here is the results. So please subscribe if you liked the video, and thank you if you have. Until next time, have a wonderful day.